Okay guys, welcome to the second part of the SRK round 1 at Castle Combe video, and just to recap the first two heats, we had two 4th place finishes from our middle and our back start of the day, so yeah, we were happy with that, made up a couple of places in each, put us in good stead for a decent result for the finals. And yeah, we'll jump straight into heat 3 and see how we got on in that one. So for this heat 3 we had a really scary grid. We're starting P2, our highest start of the day, but on pole we have Zach Venn, who is very, very fast. He's 2 years in a row runner-up in the British Indoor Karting Championship, and we know he's really quick. We also had Oliver Baiani, who has marshalled at this place and was lap record holder for a while. So yeah, he's very fast, and there was other drivers that I can't remember, I'm afraid, but all very fast. So I was expecting to not have the best of heats here, but we'll see how we go. Just waiting for the green light. There it is, and away we go. We get a decent start. We see Zach's kind of bogged a little bit, but we are on the outside. We're going to try and hold it around the outside, give him space on the inside obviously, and then we're going to hold it around the outside and get a better drive to the chicane, and we get into the chicane in first, and we've taken the lead. I can't quite believe it, to be honest. We don't have to defend going up to the top corner, and yeah, that's dream start. I never imagined I'd be at the front of any of these grids today, and here we are, end of lap 1, leading a heat with some amazing drivers in it. So can we hold on to it? That's the question, isn't it? We know the track well. I'm not particularly slow, so I know I've got some pace and I know how to defend. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to drive as fast as we can, and if they're faster than me, we're going to defend as much as we can. So we can see we're clean coming down the hill, still in the lead, and yeah, feeling good. Little bit sketchy on the entry to the hairpin there, little look over the shoulder, but we're all right still. And coming up the hill, look over the shoulder, not feeling the need to defend on this lap, get a decent drive around that top corner, and coming down the hill, I think we're getting this corner better today. Yeah, that's nice and under control, decent line, and that's gonna keep us in front. Missed the apex a little bit there, but yeah, you see a little shake of the head, so I'm not happy with that. Feeling the pressure at this point. A couple of glances over the shoulder, so they must be catching up on me. Slightly defensive, not really defensive. And we see the nose of a cart, just interested there, but we're going to go a little bit defensive downhill, and they're not going to have a way through. And we're going to maintain that lead. That's all we want to do, so that was quite nice around there, happy with that. Little bit of slide, but that's okay in the braking zone as long as you get a good drive out of the corner. Human DRS, look over the shoulder, we can see there's a cart near us, so we're going to go defensive, not fully, but just shut that door, make sure they don't get a toe in there, and yeah, just maintain that position. It is quite easy to defend here, and I'm not particularly slow, I'm not particularly fast, but I'm not particularly slow either, so it is hard to overtake somebody that knows how to defend and has, you know, middling pace. But you see that right on my tail. So human DRS, fully defensive this time, right up the inside. Slide a little bit, which is going to give them opportunity around the outside. We leave them space because we got the inside line, and we're just going to come take that racing line down the hill. Not going to squeeze them into the barrier because A, we don't want to put them out, and B, we don't want to whack them on flag. We had the better line anyway. We had the racing line. We had the inside line for the corner that mattered. So even though they were alongside coming past the pit lane, we know that the right hand corner at the bottom is impossible to go round the outside at, because the barriers on the left just naturally pinch you in, so you have to back out. See, we're still semi-defensive coming down the hill. Really feeling the length of these heats. Used to the 5-lap heats from the Castle Combe Karting Championship. We're going to hit the apex physically there. That is not ideal. See a shake of the head and a look over the shoulder. That's going to kill our drive all the way up the hill. So now they're going to be really interested. So you see, super defensive. We actually slide a little bit, which kind of worked in our favour because there's no space through, and they have to back out to avoid spinning us. And that manages to keep us ahead. And that is the checkered flag. You can see how happy I am with that. Super pumped after taking a heat win, and now as we come round, see the guys give them a fist bump. We're happy with that. Couldn't believe I took a heat win in this with the grid I was on, and obviously that scores us amazing points for our finals. So let's jump into that finals footage and see where we finished. Okay, so after our 3 heats, our 2 4th places and our heat win, that put us on 48 points, and we were 11th in the rankings. Super happy with that. Only just missed out on the A final. We were still in the A final until the final heat was completed, and 2 drivers knocked us down from the A final to the B final. But we're starting P2 in the B final. Not ideal to be on the even side of the grid. We always want to be on the odd side of the grid to be on the inside, because that gives you a better start. Obviously we're hoping we can pull the same as we did in Heat 3, but we do have another SRK1 driver in front of us. Myself, Aidan and Mark, shout out to those 2 guys, because we were the only 3 to make it into the B final from SRK2, and in fact the 4th placed SRK2 driver was so far behind us that we were guaranteed a podium from this final. So the 3 of us were battling out inside this final in our own little battle to decide which step of the podium we were on in the SRK2 class. So that was a great feeling going into the final, knowing you've already got the podium. You just need to battle it out and see which step you're going to be stood on come the end. And shout out to Aidan and Mark, they did great as well all day, really tight. And yeah, I'm starting P2, Aidan's starting P3, and Mark is starting directly behind me in P4. So we're hoping we can cut across, get in front of Aidan, and yeah, just see what happens from there. But let's jump in and see how we go. So we're on our way down to the grid. Obviously pretty nervous at this point, to be honest. We're really high up in the rankings, much higher than we expected, and looking at an opportunity to get into the A final. So nerves settling in at this point. We're going to make sure we get onto our grid slot, pointing as far right as we can, because we are aiming right there in that gap between 1st and 3rd. I mean, ideally we're aiming for in front of 1st, but we know that that's kind of unlikely. So just waiting for the grid to form behind us, and we can see all the scary fast drivers behind us there. And yeah, it's grid's formed. The red light stopped working, so we're just waiting for a straight green light. There it is, and away we go, nice and quick. And we're going to try and get across. Now we get stuck on the back corner, and that allows Aidan in. And Aidan's through up the inside, a great move. But yeah, nothing we could do there really. I needed to get across quicker, but I just got caught on that kart that started on pole. And so now it's just head down, try and catch Aidan, and hopefully they're going to battle ahead, and we can start to look interested, and hopefully we can maintain our position at least, because we're currently P2 in class, with Aidan directly in front of us in the red, being P1 in class, and I'm pretty sure at this point Mark is still directly behind me. He was definitely behind me for a lot of the race, but I think he's there already from this early on. And yeah, we're taking that top corner nice there. We're not defending, nobody's defending at this point, which is unusual early in a final. Usually early in a final you're bumper to bumper and kind of training it round the defensive line, but we've opened up a little bit quite early. So we're all racing our racing line, which means we're all racing as fast as we can, which unfortunately for me means Aidan and First are pulling away a little bit, because they are both well rapid. But we're going to see if they start fighting, if we can get interested, and just focus on driving my best race basically. This is also a 10 lap final, which feels like a hell of a long time in the kart compared to our usual 5 kart heats in CCKC. So yeah, we're going to have to concentrate for a long time. Human DRS being activated, look over the shoulder, and but still taking the racing line. So we're happy with our pace at this point. We're just checking behind us and trying to get every little bit of extra pace we can using that human DRS. No idea if it makes any difference, but it makes us feel like it does. And yeah, we can see it's staying about the same, the gap. We're not challenging them at the moment, so Aidan's free to battle for the final win and see if he can't get into the A final, but we're going to hope that they start to battle and that pulls them closer to us. But yeah, Aidan's looking interested, so fingers crossed that's going to pull them back towards me as they defend, and we're not having to run the defensive line so much. We're going to hit the apex again. This point of the day, it's the second day in a row. I've raced a lot this weekend, so I'm starting to get a little bit tired, honestly. The arms are feeling a bit slow. You see Aidan make a move up ahead, bit of side-by-side contact, so I think he allows the guy to stay ahead, because he obviously doesn't want to get a 2-place drop, because that'll drop him from 1st to 3rd in class. So yeah, he's all over the back of him though, and they're starting to battle, but we're still not making advantage of that after hitting that barrier on the apex of turn 1 on the previous lap. That kind of killed our momentum. We can see they're defending up ahead, and that's allowing us to catch a little bit, but we might be running out of time. Depends how hard they battle and how feisty it gets. We're not having to defend too much. Mark is on our tail. You can't really see it here, but you can definitely feel him on our tail. He's definitely putting me under a lot of pressure. So whilst trying to focus ahead and hope those guys are battling, I'm also trying to not fall back too much, as we see Aiden still pushing up ahead. And we are making a little bit of gains, I think, but it's not sizable chunks that we need to be making in order to really join that battle. And then we come around the apex. That's nice. We took that really nice that lap, and we can see Aiden is a little bit closer. But now this is looking like we're going to be P2 in class, unless they really start fighting. But we can see there's Mark just sticking his nose up the inside, so we're going to shut that door coming down the hill. He's mounted a great attack on us there, but we've managed to hold that off. And great clean racing from Mark as well, because obviously he took a look, but then he got out before it became a problem for both of us. So yeah, shout out to Mark for the great battle in this final. I'm having to worry about him the whole way through. We're having a great challenge, and he's racing super clean, super respectful racing. And there we go, the checkered flag, and we take P2 in class, our first podium in karting. Well happy with that. Gutted we couldn't take a P1 in class after qualifying pole of our class, or top of our class, but we'll take a P2. And shout out to Aiden, great job on taking that lead in class and just maintaining it and challenging the guy ahead there. And shout out to Mark for the great battle behind as well. Okay guys, so we've got the standings up on the screen here. We can see Ben Chick took the overall victory. He's had a great weekend. He won Castle Coombe round 2 in his session, and he also won this SRK championship round. So great weekend for Ben. You can see he's in Swift Cooper A, so a good job for the first team there. Shout out to Neil taking second. He started 8th in the A final and took second after what was a messy A final, is probably the best way to describe that A final. But well done, Neil. Go check out his video to see how he managed that. Then we got Ryan taking a 4th, just missing out on a podium, but another Swift Cooper A driver. So the first team taking some great points from that final. And then unfortunately Luke finished 10th. He had a kart problem and got caught up in all that chaos. Same with Diego and Sam. It was just a messy final with multiple people in the barrier, multiple stops, red flag. Yeah, it was entertaining to say the least. So then we can see there the green in the sea of red, those 3 green SRK2 class. Aiden taking the class win and the 11th overall, me taking 2nd in class and 12th overall, and Mark taking 3rd in class and 13th overall. And you can see there's no other green on that screen. We were comfortably ahead of the rest of our class. So this was a fantastic result for all 3 of us. This is the track that we all know best for this season on the calendar. Obviously I've never raced at any of the other tracks on the calendar, so my aim for the season was to take a podium. This was my best chance to do it, and we've done it. Slightly disappointed I couldn't beat Aiden out after starting ahead of him, but he drove great all day, and as you can see his fastest lap was 2/10 faster than mine, so he definitely deserved to finish ahead of me. But we scored great points. We scored great points for the team as well, and we'll jump on to 21st to 40th. There we can go. We can see the highest ranked SRK2 driver behind the 3 of us was 23rd overall. And you can see there's still a bunch of SRK1 drivers down here. And now we see Shane took 26th overall. I think he was 6th in class, and so he scored good points for the team as well, beating some really good drivers there. And yeah, we scored good points as a team. And then unfortunately Dan down in 36th. He didn't have too good a day. Ended up in lots of contact in the barriers, and yeah, just couldn't quite pull it off today. So unlucky to Dan, but great effort. and you'll come back stronger for the future rounds for definite. And it's top 2 that score points, so team championship is all good because we got some good points there. And then we just take a look at the back of the grid. So yeah, there we can go. We can see 41st to 49th. So as you can see, there was a handful of drivers that didn't end up turning up. So 49 classified drivers overall in the end. But yeah, well happy to take our P12 in that. And let's take a look at the team championship. So the top 2 drivers from each team score points. So here we can say Swift Cooper A took a devilish lead into the after the first round in the team championship with 666 points from their first and fourth for Ben and Ryan. And then we can see we are there top of the green ones, Swift Cooper B. Myself and Shane scoring the points there, 394 points for us, 7th overall, and looking pretty good in the team championship. So Swift Cooper actually leading all 3 championships currently, because we're leading the junior championship as well as obviously here the SRK 1 and SRK 2 team championships. So this is probably our best chance of the season to take a great result, and it's just fantastic that we actually pulled it off and took probably the best result we could overall from this first round, leading all 3 championships. Some decent points for all of us. Obviously Ben Chick winning the event overall, so a fantastic event overall in the end. And yeah, just I had an absolute blast of a time. The field was so competitive, and I was expecting to be kind of top 3rd of SRK2, but probably in the high 20s to 30s with overall score. So to take a podium and a 12th overall, I can't stop smiling. It was a week ago now and I'm still buzzing. This is my first podium at all in karting. I haven't even taken one in like a little fun team sport event. So for my first podium to be in such a competitive championship, I'm over the moon. And we're on to round 2 now, Herefordshire Raceway. Obviously I've never been to this track before, so hopefully going to head over there before the next round, get a little bit of practice in, at least learn the layout of the track, and see if we can compete. I think podiums for the rest of the season are probably a bit beyond me, but who knows, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. All of these tracks coming up as well are open outdoor tracks, apart from the indoor round in the middle, but it'll be the first time I've raced on a racetrack without barriers the whole way round, because I've only raced at Castle Combe outdoors or indoors tracks. So everywhere I've raced so far has had barriers close, so a lot of these tracks were open with grass and everything. So we'll see how I get on tracks where it's a bit harder to defend and where your rule pace will win out. So yeah, thank you very much for watching, guys. Cheers to everybody that congratulated me, chatted to me throughout the day, and shout out to Diego and the guys running SRK as well, Luke and Sam with him. Just an absolutely fantastic event, really well ran, and I can't wait for round 2. See you there.